Hello everyone. In today's demo, I am going to show you the creation of a physical standby database using RMAN. In this demo, I am going to show you the creation of physical standby without RMAN duplication command. I mean to say, I am going to take backup of the primary, transfer it to the standby side, do recovery of the standby database, and then put it in the recovery mode. This is the procedure that I am going to adapt to create a physical standby database. So let me also tell you the important steps are involved in this procedure. First one is taking a backup on primary side. Second step, moving this backup to the standby side. Third step is making proper changes to the initialization parameter on the standby side. Fourth step is restoring and recovering the transferred backups on the standby side, and the last step is putting the database in recovery manager mode. Let's go into details of these steps. As I told you, the first step is to have the backup of the primary database. So I am going to take RMAN backup. For that, I am going to create a directory where I will put all my backups. The directory where I am going to keep all my RMAN backups. This is the directory I created earlier to keep all my backups. So this is the command that RMAN command that is used to backup database. In this backup, I am also backing up the archive logs, because archive logs are also necessary to restore and recover the database on the standby side. Now database backup is completed. I also need to backup control file for standby database. Let me backup control file as well. Now my backup step is completed. Now I need to transfer all these backups to the standby side. So let me transfer all these files to the standby side. So this is my standby server. Let me also create the same directory what I have on the primary side. Another point I want to clear here, you need not copy the backups to the same directory on the standby side. You can copy these backup pieces, RMAN backup pieces, to any directory on the standby side. But if you transfer these files to a different directory, you need to catalog them before restoring and recovering. After transferring the backups to the standby side, the third step is to make proper changes to the initialization parameter required for physical standby database creation. Let me also show you those parameters. These are all the initialization parameter modifications that required a physical standby setup. Now the fourth step is to restore and recover the transferred backup. Let me show you the details of restoring and recovering RMAN backups. So I need to have the proper SID set on the standby site. My standby site SID is SBY was here. I'm connecting to RMAN. Now let me put the database in no mount stage. I think my database is already in no mount stage, so let me stop it. Now let me connect to RMAN again. Now I need to set the DB ID before restoring. So I need to get this DB ID from the primary site. So this is my DB ID. I need to set this DB ID before restoring on the standby site. After setting the DB ID, now I need to restore a standby control file that is created from a primary site. I need to know the backup is where the standby control file is stored. So let me get that information from my session log. So this is the backup is where I have my standby control file stored. So I'll use the command to restore standby control file. Restore standby control file from. So let me come down. Restore standby control file from. It says that I do not have backup piece in the proper location. So let me verify. I found that the backups from the primary server are copied to the standby server onto different directory. Now I am moving all those backup pieces to the appropriate directory. After copying backups to appropriate location, let me execute the command again, the restore control file restore command. Now my standby control file is restored. Now let me put the standby database in mount stage. Standby database is now mounted. Let me restore the database. Now database restore is completed. Now we need to recover. So after the restore, try to identify the last archive sequence that is backed up and add one to it and do the recovery using it. To find the last sequence that is backed up on the primary site, execute this command: list backup of archive log all. So 439 is the last sequence that is backed up on the primary side. Now we need to add 1 to it. That means now it becomes 440. And now recover the database. Recover database until sequence 440. It is giving the error data file 1 must be restored from backup older than SCN. That means let me verify what is the present sequence number that is running on the standby side. So this is my standby server. So if I execute this command, the present running sequence number is 441. That means we are trying to recover the database till point 440, but the database is already crossed 440 and it is now with 441. So that means the database which is restored on standby side did not have any recovery. Now I can directly put this database in recovery mode for physical standby operation. Let me put the database in recovery mode to check whether I am able to put the database in standby mode or not. Now database is put in recovery mode. Let me verify the status again. Now the database is put in physical standby mode. Let me also verify whether physical standby is working fine or not. I will generate some archives on the primary side and I will see whether these archives are transferred to the standby side or applied or not. The present running archive log is 442. Let me also verify the same thing on the standby side, 442. So I will generate some altered archive logs also. Now it is 444. Let me verify it on the standby side. It is 444. So the archives are generated and transferred to the standby side and applied to the physical standby database. From the command line, if you want to see with SQL command, so this is the one. Now 443 is in memory. Up to 442 it is applied. So this is how we will create a physical standby database using RMAN backups with recovery without using any duplication command. This ends the session. Thanks for watching this demo.